Hello everyone.
Hello.
So, does anyone know how many tickles it takes to make an octopus laugh? 10 tickles. Okay. So I'm really happy because it's just dropping with a few of you, I can tell. We had a really good sprint on Smart Platform this sprint. We've got, I don't know if you all know this, but we have ceremonies on a Tuesday, and we have something called the retrospective where we all sit down and we complain about things. And I don't think I have anything to complain about. So that's a real positive start to the day. And one of the main reasons that that's happened is because we've started to take back control of our sprints. So we've been educating our client recently about what their role is in our work. And really, their key role is prioritising what they want next. Not what they want us to do today or tomorrow, but what they want delivered to them next. And the reason that that's their role, and that their role isn't to tell us what we should be working on today, is because as a Scrum team, we know better than anyone else what our capabilities are, what we can achieve. And so that means we know what our resourcing is, and we should be scheduling work based on the capabilities of our resources. We haven't been doing that in previous sprints, but in this sprint, we took back control and we said, actually, your priority might be these 5 items, but only one person in our team can do those 5 items. So we're going to take 3 of those, and we're going to bring some other work in to make sure that we've got 100% utilisation of our team. And that's what that looks like. So that's a burn down chart, and as you can see, we're pretty much tracking perfectly to that. We've added some more work in because we've had the room to do it, and we've done really well. And I'm going to touch on something else that we talked about in a previous show and tell earlier in the year, which is feature toggles. So we've been working on one core piece of work, one work stream to do with integrating with a third-party medical questionnaire provider. And the priority from our client was to get that work done. But as I said, we couldn't do every one of those tasks in this sprint. So we actually looked at some of the other work they needed doing, and they've identified some functional gaps that are stopping them, they're impediments to them getting up to full velocity on the product. So we decided to fill the rest of the sprint, we'd bring in some of that functional gap work, which would enable us to deliver some value to them. And in a traditional workflow, with a big code base, a monolithic code base, to work on 2 things at once, you wouldn't be able to deploy that second work stream until the first one had gone into the code base. But because we've introduced the idea of feature toggles at Wealth Wizards, we can do that because we've worked behind a feature toggle. So our AMS work is hidden behind a feature toggle, so we can bring in new changes, such as the quote illustration and quote comparison work. So this was an area where the client previously had to have some manual intervention, so when they created a piece of advice, they'd have to log into a separate portal, and they had to download the documents themselves, and they had to do it in a 48-hour period. They identified that as a risk area, because it meant that they could easily forget to do that. So we brought that work in, we've got that delivered in this sprint, and now we can get that to live, even though we've got a huge piece of work going on at the same time. So that's where the power of feature toggles is really going to show itself. We can still deliver value based on the commitments we can make in a sprint. And just to show you, this is the small piece of functional change we've made, so you can now get these quote documents out of Robo. So on to the AMS work that we've done this sprint. This is the Robo fact find, and we have removed all the health questions and answers that we had before, which previously were here. Now, when you click Start, it will take you out into a third-party provider, and it will create a case in their system. As you can see, it's now Continue. One of the things that we've done, because we're quite pioneering on the Smart Platform team, is we've introduced the idea of webhooks. And if you know what a webhook is, it's when you expose an endpoint a third party can call when something happens in their system that you want notifications about. So because we don't have any control over that health questionnaire, we want them to tell us when it's complete so that we can display that to the user, and so the user can validate their solution and generate some advice. So I'm going to simulate clicking complete in the third-party system, and as you can see, straight away the UI is updated and tells you when it was last completed, which is Tuesday 25th of April at 9:57 AM, and that's the work we've been working on.